How's he feeling, and you expect him to kind of keep moving forward?
Yeah, I thought Shaq did fine. You know, we talked about playing 5 minutes. He played 4:45, and so didn't want to put him back in there after he got tight. So I thought he did fine. I thought he looked pretty good. And he practiced yesterday, even though it was a short practice, and hopefully he'll be full speed today and play him some more tomorrow.
And Zeke mentioned that it's going to take time maybe for this group to come together because there's so many new pieces. Does it generally take a little bit of time for a team to come together when you got so many new guys?
I would say so. I mean, I think sometimes it's easier for freshmen to come together than it is for transfers. I would say so. I think the guys are, hell, I think they're doing fine. I mean, they're never doing as good as I want them to do, but I certainly don't agree with the thinking that they've disappointed by any stretch, because you know that's certainly not the case.
You said the other day you feel like you're playing too many guys and want to find 9 that you can settle on. Just what are the main things you'll be looking for as you try to determine who will be part of that 9?
Well, you know, the thing about it is when you play real games, we're playing a team tomorrow that scored 143 points in a game, but when you play league games, you don't go into a league game thinking I need to get 11 guys in the game. You go into it thinking who are we going to play that gives us the best chance to win. And we're still trying to figure out some different scenarios and what gives us the best chance to win in those type of games based on, you know, playing different lineups now and things. You know, what I meant by that is we're playing, the other night against Oakland, we played a roster that wouldn't be the same way we'd play it if we were playing Carolina or playing a league game, so to speak. So you know, we got to figure out who that core group is and get those guys used to playing with each other as opposed to just trying to fit guys in. You know, some people may not like hearing that, but that's the reality of the world. Is, you know, it's not equal opportunity for everybody. We got to figure out what's best for us, and then try to you know, put guys in a situation that, okay, when KJ's in, who's the best 3 to play with him on the perimeter, and when Zeke's in, who's the best 3 to play with him on the perimeter, and when Flo's in, who's the best 4 guards to play with him as opposed to Hunter. And we're still trying to figure it out, but I do think it'll become clearer as we don't try to figure out, okay, how do we get 11 guys in the game as opposed to 9.
A young Bill Self back at ORU, what did 100 wins look like to you? I'm sure that was kind of daunting, and then the thought that someday 800 wins would come your way. What were you like at that age? And I know you struggled the first season, but then
We started out 6-6 my first year.
Oh,
Yeah, so we did pretty well, and then we lost every game to end the season, and then we lost the first 3 to start the next season. Yeah, I don't know if that's ever been done. I don't know if there's ever been done. Somebody's won 800 games and lost 18 in a row during that stretch. So I don't know if that's ever been done, but I've accomplished that. So, you know, when I used to do clinics all the time, I'd ask everybody, has anybody ever lost 18 games in a row? And there'd always be 3 people raise their hand. I said, has anybody lost more than 18? And there'd always be 1 person that raised their hand, or 2. And I said, good, I just want to know who's a worse coach than me in the building before we get started. But yeah, that was a different element back then, different animal, and one that I learned so much being a part of. And you know, your mistakes weren't magnified near as much as they are obviously coaching at Kansas. But that was great for me. That was one good thing about being at Oral Roberts was I screwed up a lot of things, but the media really didn't ever talk about them, nor did your fan base much. Out of the 75 season ticket holders we had, not too many people were obsessed with that. But there was a lot of good things that came from it, though.
Did you seek out, I'm guessing your dad, but who did you seek out help from during that stretch? Coach Sutton?
Yeah, I would say Coach Sutton, and of course, my father. Obviously, I talked to him about it. I made the joke, you know, at ORU they had on the baseline, they had the saying "expect a miracle," and I joked all the time that Coach Sutton told me, "You need to wipe off expect a miracle, and you need to put down it's going to take a miracle instead." But that was. But it turned out great. You know, that's that same group at ORU that lost 18 in a row, won 31 last 38, and we beat Arkansas, Tulsa, and OSU. Two of them coming off Final Fours. So it turned out to be a pretty good run.
Other thoughts on UNCW outside of their offense?
Well, they draw fouls. I mean, they draw fouls. They shot 59 free throws in one game, if I'm not mistaken. Made 47. I think that was against Georgia Southern, but I mean, they can draw fouls, and they can shoot the three without question. But you know, you would think if they're shooting, if they're scoring 108 points a game on average, so they're probably shooting more than 24 or so threes a game. But I think that's about what they're shooting right now. So you know, they can score the ball, and they're athletic too.
Looking at Rakis, maybe more in games like Michigan State when he's gotten spot minutes, what are you looking for when you're tabbing him to go in the game?
I would say with a guy like Rakis, I mean, anything is a bonus, but I'd say that there's certain things, you know, as a reserve you can control. You control energy. You can control defense. You can control rebounding. You can control taking care of the ball. So that would be probably the primary thing. And then if he scores the ball, then obviously that's a bonus. And he made a three the other night, which was great. But I would say him leaving out of here the other night, he remembered some defensive things more than he remembered the actual made shot, because he knows that's how he can get on the court and stay.
Bill, your schedule's always been hard non-conference, and sometimes with hindsight, you've looked back and said maybe it was a little too hard,
Yeah.
or I wish it hadn't been, or whatever.
Yeah.
Does that apply the same to transfers as it does to freshmen when you're trying to kind of give them that experience?
I think they're very comparable. I actually, in my limited experiences, in all my years coaching, I think transfers that don't have to sit, because you know before they had to sit, or if they're a JUCO kid coming in, to me it's always taken till Christmas for them to react and not think. Whereas freshmen, sometimes I think it's easier for them because they don't know what they don't know. But you know, I like our transfers. I think they're trying hard. None of them are fighting us at all. They're willing passers. They want to play the way we want to play. They buy into it. I just don't think we're at the point where it's a reactionary thing right now. I still think it's a thought process where guys are going through their checks and balances.
Is it while you're recruiting them, or is it when you get them on campus that you can tell when a transfer, hey, he's going to be fine against Duke, Michigan State, Carolina, Creighton, you know? Do you see that?
I don't think we've ever recruited anybody to say they're going to be fine in the first 3 weeks of the season. Okay. I think you recruit people saying, are they going to be fine to help you win when it counts the most? That's why, you know, the team that you see now hopefully is not recognizable come March. But by no means do we recruit thinking, well, we got a tough schedule early, maybe these guys can come in and help us early. We recruit thinking, you know what, it'd be nice to play well early, and yeah, we need them to, but what we really need is for them to be comfortable by the time conference rolls around.
Bill, you talked about Shaq playing 445 the other night. Like when he's full go, is there a target number that you have for him that you want to rely on him for? Is that?
I would say conditioning probably won't let him play very much right now. Guys, he hadn't really done anything, and even when he came back those few days, he hadn't done anything since then. Sunday was the first. Was it? Not Sunday. When did we play? Saturday. Friday was the first day he had practiced since he took those 2 weeks off or whatever. So yeah, he's time away from being able to go, but I think he can certainly give us some spot minutes right now.
Zeke told us he's in a little bit of a slump from outside. How did he do in practice, and have you noticed the slump?
I don't think he's in a slump at all. I'm not mistaken, he's got 17 rebounds in the last 2 games. I mean, so he's a player. That's what I told him the other day. If you have to make shots to play well, that means you're a shooter. If you can play well without making shots, that means you're a player. And I think he's a player. I do. Now, granted, do we need him to make shots? Absolutely. And we're a much better team and a different team when he does. But I'm not a big proponent. Now, if a guy is a designated 3-point shooter and, never shoots a free throw, and he gets 5 looks, he's got to make 2 in order to stay in the game. That's one thing. Zeke's not one of those guys. Zeke can help you win a ball game just by his presence, on both ends.
Dave referred to this, but does 800 mean anything more special than any other round number to you?
No. I had a buddy of mine, you guys know Rhodey from Oklahoma City. I said, what's the big deal? Good gosh, you've already won 800. You've already done. I said, well, they took a few away. But no, it really doesn't. I'm being dead serious. I don't even know. Nobody's told me when that even happens. So of course, nobody told me they were putting a banner up there the other night either. So I didn't see that till Gary made a huge deal of it at the press conference afterwards. But it's nice. But
$7.99 right now.
right now, so one more.
Right.
So yeah, that'll be something that, whenever it happens, I'll think about it for, at least 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll go on to the next
Do
deal.
you save the balls from the milestone wins?
No, I haven't. They gave me a ball after the game against Michigan State, but no, I haven't. I even had a guy come down and ask me, do you want the game ball? And I said, no, why would I want a game ball? But I got enough balls in my office, so I don't need that.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.